Hello, my lovely spectators. Didi here. Welcome to my studio. So today we are doing ABC April 2026. We are 9 days from the end. So we're under 10. We're in the countdown, so to say. Today is the 21st of April, which is happy birthday to me. And I've been mentioning it. No, I can stop. Anyway, today the R is going to be reinvention. Okay, so we are all doing this challenge. People are not doing the challenge. Everyone's got videos coming out, and you have your go-to people that you like to watch. And so today, which is before the R, a few days before, I saw Anne Kenlon, and she had literally posted it about 3 hours or so prior to my watching it. And she did journal pockets with the peekaboo or peekaboo pockets. So I watched her. I love the look. I love the idea of it, but it was very, not overwhelming, but just it felt like a lot. It felt like a lot. And so I was like, I want to have this peekaboo effect, but I want it to be as simple as possible. So what she used was book pages and maps and things of that sort, which are lovely, and I would totally use them as well, but I just couldn't see myself doing all the folding and everything that was going on. So I sat upon it for a little while, and so I'm reinventing the make of a peekaboo style pocket, but I'm giving the total props to Anne Kenlon. Like she said in her video, this is something she saw, and she's like, she wanted to enter it into her repertoire of junk journal stuff, myself as well. So maybe after my video, you go check out her video, and you go from there. Maybe you like them both. I don't know, but let's just get right to it, and let me show you what we're talking about. So again, this is our reinvention. So again, nothing wrong with Anne's method. I just am lazy sometimes, and I feel like this might be a little simpler. But you can judge, and let me know in the comments below. I'm taking 8.5 by 11 regular printed paper. This one has been on my channel for many a times because you can't beat a deal at $1.99. It's basically like a little bit thicker than copy paper. So we're gonna take 2 sheets of that. That kind of coordinate, that kind of go with each other. That wouldn't look so funny laid up next to each other. So let's see. Or maybe you would like something that's a lot more contrasty. Again, your prerogative, your choice. I think I like this. Let's see how that's gonna. I'm thinking. So I want a light green. No, I want a little contrast. Yeah, you didn't sign up for this mini film. I should have picked them out earlier. But you basically can use one-sided paper, which is awesome. And to speak back to what Anne did, with book pages and maps and stuff, you can cut them down to 8.5 by 11 to do this if you wanted to, right? Take that extra little step versus the folding. Again, there's nothing wrong with her method. I don't want anybody to come at me and be like, oh, it's not at all like that. We just like to come at things in a different way, and that's okay. So I'm going to use these 2, and from these 2 sheets of paper, you're going to be able to get 4 pockets. So I've already done prototypes here, so I can show you what that peekaboo is. So I'm going to use this as a tag. This is 4 inches by 8. This is like a large tag, or you can do 4 inches by 6 for a shorter tag or journal card. But basically the idea is you're going to have a pocket with a top. You're going to be able to slide it in, and then peekaboo, the corner is going to come out and add this extra little specialness to it, right? So that's what happened. So she did some tearing. I used a decal edge trimmer here just to give it a little bit. Pinking shears to cut down that side, whatever, any kind of decorative side. You could take a Master Stewart punch or any kind of edge punch, because I don't, she don't pay me nothing to be promoting her, but and do the edging. So, or you can leave it straight. That's up to you. So this is the peekaboo, right? So you can have a peekaboo And then I'm just showing another one, right? So we're seeing that we're using the same papers and we're alternating them to get different combinations. We can even do it on the other side. So we'll have 2 on one side and 2 on the other side. Here's with a straight edge, how that looks. And then as I glued them, and you got your pocket right here, right? And you got your little peekaboo. This band, right? If you glue it in a certain way, you can even have a little tiny tuck for little elements on the outside, which would be fun as well. So let's get right to creating these guys, right? 4 pockets from 2 sheets of paper. If you have double-sided paper, you can totally use that, the 8.5 by 11. But what's going to happen is, you know, that extra triangle is not going to be part of it. And you're going to see what I mean by the extra triangle. So we just need to make a couple of cuts here. So we need to take our 8.5 by 11. I've just stacked them together. I want to cut them in half. I think I need to go up just a little bit for now. I'm going to cut them in half. So we're going to go 8.5 by 11. So we're going to go to 5.5 and we're going to cut them down. Okay. Now, the halfway point of this is 4.25. So what I'm going to do is I also want to cut this down to 4.25. 4.25, right? Right? So that I'm creating a square pocket. We'll see, because I think I cut it down a little bit less the last time, but this is going to be the straps that wrap around. This is going to be our pockets. So let me also cut off of here. Let's cut down to 4.25. And let's see. I think you might need a little bit, make it a little bit shallower for us to get that little side pocket now that I'm looking at it. But we'll talk about it at that point in time. Basically, that's all that you needed. Now you're going to fold them in half. Let me reposition the camera because you don't need to be that far away. You can really see what we're doing. So we're going to fold the papers in half. Okay. I'm just folding them together right in half. So I have 2 there. I have 2 there. Okay. You can ink the edges if you want to ink. I'm not going to ink. Showing you the method. I do love the colors of these papers. I will put them in my stash. And 2 there. Okay, so now you're going to need to cut off a triangle from every single one of these guys in order to create that peekaboo. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. If you have the seam, the fold on this side, and this is the open flap, if you cut this over here, this is where your peekaboo is going to be. Right? So we're going to do 2 like that. Then on the other side, if I flip it and I put the seam in this hand and I have this, I'm going to cut off the peekaboo over here. Okay? So let's set that up so I don't mess that up. Okay. Now for me, doing that peekaboo is a little easier with me using a ruler, a straight edge, and a knife. So I'm going to grab that. And we're going to do that peekaboo. So we're going to open up. Okay, and hopefully we can see that little piece right there, which is where the fold is. Okay, and I'm going to bring that up. So the fold is right there. I'm going to bring that up, and then I'm going to get myself to the exact corner on that side. Hold it down. Okay. There we go, like that. Okay, we're not tossing this unless your paper is double-sided. Then you can have this as an excellent scrap. You can use this for a tuck in your journal to coordinate whatever the case is, but we're going to be using it. Okay, now I'm going to take the other one. Again, I'm going to open it up. I want the peekaboo to be on this side. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to do my cut. So again, from the corner up to the fold line, and then I'm going to do my cut. Okay. So here we go. Okay, let's cut the other ones. And again, if the seam is on this side, we want our peekaboo over here. We're going to have the same thing. We're going to position, and notice how the bulk is over here. I'm taking off this triangle. I'm getting myself to the seam and to the corner. Okay, and got that like that. and then we have the other one. That way we can just get rid of this knife and everything like that, and we don't have to worry about having any other cuts to do. Okay, just like this, and cut like this. Okay, perfect. You can get rid of this. I don't need it. I will need a piece of, I will need a scissors at the end to clean up the situation. So I'm going to take out a scissor just to have it here. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to figure out how we want to lay these out. Meaning that even though they're in that position, I don't necessarily have to keep them in that position, right? We can flip-flop and put this one here and that one there so that we can have a little bit of variation with the pieces, right? Same thing here. We can flip-flop this and this. I think it's fun to have that like that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to glue. So I'm going to go through one in its entirety. We've got all the pieces set up. Let's go through this one in its entirety. What we want to do is just take this corner piece, right? We want to glue it right on here. Now, of course, I'm thinking, oh, I could not glue it on two sides only and have another tuck. That's possible, but then also might cause the other journal tag that you put in. But it's not something that you can try, you know. Matter of fact, let's try it. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna just leave it because I haven't done that version of it, right? So, but these two corners are gonna be done nice and tight, and we're gonna get them right on the corner. Why are my hands shaking? And like that. Okay, so nice and flat. Okay, at this point you could turn it over. If you have a little bit of extended, I would just trim it off slightly, you know, just clean up the white, or you could just ink it, whatever your prerogative. Okay, so now we have this. So the idea is that I'm going to be able to slide my tag or journal card. So I'm going to clean up the top by refolding, right, making sure that the top is nice and that this is nice and scored and the top matches, because I don't want to have to deal with that later, right? That little gap is not going to matter right now. Okay, so our tag is going to go in through here. So now I want to decide which of these do I want to put. Do I want to put this one, you know, because I have choices, right? I could probably include this one because it'll give me a little variation. If I want to do a little bit of an edging, I could do that, but I'm gonna leave them flat, straight, just for the sake of the video. Okay, so we're gonna do that. So we're gonna pick that one for this one. Okay, we're going to, here's our top, here's our strip. Our top piece is right here. We want to kind of get our corners right here, about 1/4 of an inch away from this seam over here. The reason being because we're going to fold them. I want to center it. So let me show you a little better, right? So this is our strip that we cut off from the beginning. This is the top of where our tag is going to enter. We've turned it over, right? So the front is facing the bottom. And we want this about 1/4 of an inch below. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to fold this guy up nice and tight, and we're going to fold this one up as well. Okay, it's the only folding we have besides the seam. Now we're going to open it back up and we're going to add adhesive. Okay, I only want to add adhesive up to the top to cover where this flap is going to be. Okay, so then I'm going to press it back down and I'm going to make sure it's nice and smooshed. Okay, I want that to be nice because especially if I want it to be like a floating pocket. If I didn't want to be a floating pocket, then it doesn't matter how the back of this looks, right? So then now we're going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, so again, I'm going to cover the whole entire triangle of what's folded over. Okay, and just on the back, notice I'm not putting anything on this strap, for lack of a word, right? Okay, right, that's nice and smooth. Now we're going to turn it over. Okay, you're going to see that this is your top. Remember, here's your little peekaboo item, and this is still open. You're going to go inside to this edge, and you're going to put a line of glue close to the edge, but you don't have to go so close that you would wind up closing it. meaning closing it to the other side. Okay, and that's it. Okay, now that everything is nice and nice, we're going to now take our scissors, cut off that. What's wrong with these scissors? Ugh, they're dirty. Oh, sorry. Right? Ugh, gotta keep your scissors clean. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. Get that right there. Okay. We don't want to go too close because we don't want to open up this side. So there we go. We have our peekaboo, right? When looking at it, it looks like a nice little decorative pocket. But then we're going to take our paper, our tag, and place it inside. Okay. And we're going to slide it in there. Okay. And there we go. We got a little peekaboo. Cool, right? Simple. If there's enough space between this edge, which I don't believe there is, then that's fine. If you want to have that tuck piece, then you're going to need to make this a little bit wider. Okay. There's also the other tuck that's in here. So it's in there, right? You see that that's not coming through. So you do have the option to put another little pocket in there. And just when you're putting this in, make sure that you don't run into it. Because if you run into the pocket, let's see if we can get it into the pocket. I don't think it would fit in the pocket, a big tag, because it's been glued down in a certain way. So yeah, perfect, right? So there you go. Maybe it's a little loose, but again, you want to have that loose because, you know, well, you're going to have it because it's going to be 4 1/4. So fully. That's why we didn't glue anything down here, so that we can have a full 4 1/4. Because sometimes you can put a bit of glue and then it gets a little bit too thick or spreads that way, and then your pocket will get too short. Let's make another one so that we have it. So we've already gotten one. So let's take the other one that's that same direction, right? And let's look at our strips again. And we're going to see which one we want. Do we want to put... No, I think we need to leave one for that. We'll take this green guy. Okay. Okay, so we're going to do the same exact process. We're going to glue our triangle down. So, so you can leave it open because, hey, it doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to affect it. It gives you that option later on for something a little hidden. I'm going to glue it into that corner. Nice and tight. We don't want the white to show, but you know what? We're not machines and not perfect. So we got it glued down nice and tight. We have a little bit over here. We can just clean that up slightly. Okay. Now, this is where our top is. We want to make sure that that's lining up good on the top. Okay. Now we're going to take our strip, turn it over to the, you know, if it does have like a difference, whatever, you need to, meaning like this one has, you know, a pattern. So whatever pattern is going to go, so hold your top. Remember, it's all about where your fingers are for gluing and stuff like that and getting things straight. So if this is going to be darker here and I want this to be by this side, then I turn it around here so it's this way, right? It's still this way, it's this way. And my top, I turn it this way so it's still up and up. And then I'm gonna kind of position this over here. So let's see here. Now we need to have it somewhere where we're going to be able to adhere it, especially on the bottom, because that's going to be the stopper of the tag. That's the reason behind that. Okay, let's try putting it in the middle because we learn from our things that we're doing, right? And we're going to fold this up. And we're going to fold this up. So we're folding towards the top of the tag, or the pocket rather, where the tag will enter. And now we're going to glue. Okay. We push it there, we let it set a little bit, and we come down here and we do the same thing. Okay. So now, like I said, I am going to include her video, Anne's video, in the bottom, in the text boxes and stuff. So now we have this. So by moving it a little bit down, what I did was to give it a little more space in order to glue this a little down and maybe have that tuck. So right on the edge of the pocket color. Remember, the pocket color is green. So if we put it on the other side, we are going to be closing up our thing, right? All right, nice and flat. Now we're going to cut off our extra there. Now I know the freaking scissors are dirty. Why am I still using these? Because I have like a million scissors. Why am I still using these? And then we're going to cut over here. I know they're from the same set. They look the same, but they're not the same ones. See, nice and smooth. Okay, now let's see. Not as much, but a little bit of a tuck did up here. So just gonna have to play with that, right? And then get our tag, put it in, and okay, make sure, because you know we have glue squishing everywhere, but we got a little peekaboo. So it's cute. If you ink it, then this will really stand out. That will look really nice. Okay, so we've gotten 2 out of this, right? Now let's do 2 more, and then I will let you go. Please don't leave yet. No, okay. So we've mixed them and matched them. You know what? Let's put them together, and let's just to have variety. So now the hole is going to be the pocket, or the peekaboo is on this side, right? Before we had it on the right, it's going to be on the left rather. Now it's going to be on the right. Yes, don't ask me left to right. So now we're going to put our adhesive. I'm just going to leave that there because I think it's a nice little possibility for something, and it doesn't seem to be interfering with the tag. Okay, so now we're going to get our corner. Try to get it nice and straight so we can hide all the white down here as well. Okay, once we do that, okay, we're good. I'm gonna turn it over and look. Pretty decent. It's a slight, probably would better just like take it off with inking, but I'm gonna just do a little cleanup. Okay, little cleanup over here as well. Okay, so now we have our pocket. This is our top. That's our peekaboo. Our top looks nice and straight. I am going to trade it up to do this. Okay? So, now, let's talk about it, right? This is our top, and this is our peekaboo side, right? This is the peekaboo side. I'm going to turn this over, peekaboo side, and then this is the top. Okay? Now, I'm not going to turn it. It's still the top, but my top is this way, which is fine. Okay, yeah, we're gonna make it over here. We're gonna go back to our 1/4 inch, make sure that we're kind of centered, and then we're going to flip this up to glue, and flip this up to glue, and make the little, you know, we're making our little stopper. So here we go. If you heard the fan come on, it's because the hubby knows that I was hot. He's taking care of me, so don't pass out while I'm showing you stuff. Okay, so we're just gluing up these things. Again, I want to glue it all the way. I don't want to have to come and touch it up because I'm lazy sometimes. But if I have to come and, you know, glue down a little flap, so be it. We do that. Okay, now we have this. This is our pocket. Right, our pocket is up here. We need to glue these 2 pieces together. We're going to do this again. We're going to go over here. Okay, and we're going to adhere this down. It's perfect, right? And just like anything when you're gluing blind, kind of, we are going to double check. So now look at these, are so much better. So much better than your brother. We're going to do that, right? So that's all nicely done. So this flap secures the top pocket over, right? So it does double duty. And then it goes down here. It is our stopper. So now we can put our tag inside, and we have our little peekaboo element. Lovely. No tuck pot spot here. I'm going to tell you now, I know why. So we will address this in the next one. So here we go again. This is our final one. So we're getting all these different little nuances and stuff worked out, and you guys will be able to kind of, you know, have hopefully some confidence to play with the positioning of some of these things, namely the band, really, because, you know, the rest of it is kind of easy. The band is what could give you the problem. I think if you don't put it in the right spot or the glue passes where it's supposed to be, then there can be issues. Ah, no, it's our glitter glue. Move it quickly. I didn't press it down, so I got lucky. I'm getting lucky. Okay, there we go. And I'm being silly. Silly me. Look at the other. Oh my God, guys, that's the perfect one. No cleanup needed. All right. So now, here we go. Here's our band, right? We're doing the same thing. Here's our band. Here's the top. We turn over the band. We turn over the top. Now, I've been telling you to go this way. We did the middle. Go a little bit lower. Okay? Not too low. Maybe 1/4 of an inch from there. And let's hope that this works out. Except that it won't give us too much coverage here. So that's the problem. So we could do a slight slant per se, but I don't want to get it too crazy. Let's just stick to like the middle-ish one, not too close, right? A little off from the middle, not by much, because we do want a decent amount over here to kind of keep the stopper, right? So we're going to do that up here, and we're going to fold this one up here. Okay, it's all paper. It's not going to take a lot to hold it, but still, you want a decent little triangle there, I think. Okay. All right, we got that nice and down. Now this one, we're going to do the same thing over here. Nice like this, okay. And we're going to turn this over. Perfect. Okay, and now we're going to open in here. And we got to be careful because we've got we have to see the other side. So look, I open it. Where's the line? You got to be able to see the line. Okay, so make sure you can tell where the line is, where it's cut. So it's cut about here. If not, you're just going to be shutting everything down. Okay, I'm going to cut it right there. We're going to put that there. That's nice and nice. Okay, I'm going to cut the extra here. Cut the extra off there. Perfect. Okay, and then we'll take our card, and we've got our peekaboo just to show you, right? So this time it went in the hole, which is funny. So before you just let it sit and dry, just test run your card to separate anything that might be adhered to, and then you know you can look. Oh, this one has more space, so then I could actually add little tucky things in there. So you know, by putting it more to the middle, slightly over, we were able to get some space in there. So you can play with that, but that's how you do it. You adjusting this, but not so far that it comes off down here or over here, because you need that to secure the actual pocket into its existing position. So there you go, guys. This is the reinvention of Miss Anne's craft now, right? So we were able to take 2 pieces of single-sided paper and create 4 tucks, right? We've got 2 to the right and 2 to the left, but they could all be to the right or they could all be to the left. That depends on which triangle you cut off. So I hope that this has, you know, been interesting for some of you, and that you take this and give it a try, that you go and visit Miss Anne and check her out, and maybe you like that. Again, totally can be done with any kind of paper. If you want to do it this way, you need to first cut down your material to 8.5 by 11, and then follow these steps in order to make these 4 pockets with 2 sheets of paper. So if you're new, please consider subscribing. If you've been here with me, thank you so much for always coming back and supporting. And please like, comment, share. That would be awesome. And you know, until next time, we're counting down. Tomorrow is 8, so I'll see you then. Ciao, ciao, bye. I don't know why I did the thumbs up.